This will be interesting. I just came back home from hanging out at a pub together with some friends. There was a pub quiz. I had a few beers. I think we will be fine. I hope so, at least. Today I thought that I would give you another update for my monitoring my TBR. If you don't know, one of my goals for this year is to try and halve my physical TBR. It's something I just blurted out in a video once and I decided to go with it. So I counted how many books I had at the start of the year, which was quite exactly 100 books. And I decided to try and halve that. Since then, I've acquired a bunch of books. I've also been reading from my physical TBR. So each quarter, basically, I'm trying to keep up with that and see, okay, how much did I read? How many books did I acquire, add to my collection? Even though my TBR is growing, I'm still sticking to reading those 50 books from my physical TBR this year. I've already read more than 50 books this year, but some books have been audiobooks, some books have been ebooks, we have borrowed books from the library. Like, the challenge in this is actually trying to read books off my own shelves. Let's do the fun stuff, let's chat about the numbers. I already think I might do this next year as well, because it's a fun challenge actually, and I like tracking my TBR. So I've been enjoying these videos and I hope you have too. From my last update, which I believe was the end of July, published start of August, I had 104 books on my physical TBR. It's more books than I started the year with, but less books than I had in my first update. By then, I had read 22 books so far of my physical TBR. Let's now start looking at these last couple of months, or mainly August and September, I guess, because I was very late with that second update. Since then, I have read 6 books of my physical TBR. It's not great. It isn't going that well anymore. I was quite optimistic after my previous update, but now I'm not, because I've kind of been slumping in August and September. I've had a lot going on, especially with my work, which I really enjoy, but it takes so much energy and so much more time from me now. I haven't had the energy to read, even though I wanted to read, and I've been low-key slumping, so I have not read that many books from my physical TBR. I have not read that many books in general. It's definitely more than 6 books these last 2.5 months or so, but from my physical TBR, I've read 6 books. And that's excluding, let's keep that in mind, that's excluding 2 rereads, because throughout those months, I completed The Dragon Republic, and I also read and finished Warm Bodies. Both of them were rereads, so I actually read 8 printed books off my own shelves, like from my own shelves, but 2 of them were rereads, so that doesn't really count towards my physical TBR. That pulls down the number from 104 to 98, bringing us back down underneath 100 books, which is great. One interesting reflection about this is, amongst these 6 new reads, 5 of them are actually books I acquired this year. It's great that I'm reading recent buys of mine. I think that is perfect actually, but it's sort of counterproductive in some ways, I feel like, because I started this challenge at the start of the year before I had acquired these books, and now I've acquired more books and I'm reading them, which is great. I'm not really reading my backlist. We're now at 98 books. Let's now talk about the books that have been acquired. This I will divide into 3 categories. We have books I have personally purchased, we have books I've been gifted, and also book box books. If you don't know, September was my birthday month. I was very kindly gifted some books, and I also very kindly gifted myself some books. This has definitely skewed the numbers a bit. So during these last few weeks, or mainly in September, I was gifted these 5 books. I'm very excited about them. I think they all look pretty fun and cute. Thanks to everyone who gifted me something. It means the world. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. If you actually want to see me unbox these books and be surprised by them, check out my book haul. Thank you. Adding those 5 books to my number takes us to 103 books. Still less than what I started out with, but not perfect. Next category, we're looking at my bookbox books. And I thought I had acquired 3 books these last 2.5 months. Turns out that it's 4 because I just received one yesterday. So the books I received from my Illumicrate subscription are The Drowned Woods, Love on the Brain, which I'm actually currently reading. This is from the Afterlight book box. Babel, you might have seen me unbox this. And finally, the one that arrived yesterday is The Book Eaters. We then need to add 4 books, which takes us to 107, which is higher than we started out the month with. One final issue is that we're not done there, because I decided to treat myself to some books. So let's talk about the books I purchased myself. I actually placed 2 orders these last couple of months. One was a bit after my birthday, actually, like a week or so after. And that was because I received a birthday coupon that I really wanted to use because it was 15% off. So in total, I think, if I counted correctly, I think it adds up to me buying a total of 12 books between the previous update and this one. Okay, before I talk about the books I purchased, I need to show you that there was actually a 6th book I was gifted on my birthday. And that's Dracula by Bram Stoker. I got this from my friend. I forgot to add it into my book spending spreadsheet. But yeah, I got this one as well. So what does that bring us up to? 108 books, I think. After careful calculations and recalculations and recalculations and going through this book stack multiple times, I've come to the conclusion that since my previous update, I have purchased 12 books. I mean, it's not too bad compared to how much I could have bought, but it's definitely not following the rules of my book buying game. This is not what I would call a low-key book buying ban. My first purchase, which was actually in August, were these 3 books. I mainly wanted to get these 2 because I intended to get them for a reading vlog that I am actually filming, and I had read them, but in order to get free shipping, I needed to add a book, so I added Fires of Vengeance because it's a sequel and I'm actually allowed to buy sequels according to my book buying game. Then came my birthday and I had a 15% off coupon and I knew one book I wanted to get, and that was Carrie Soto is Back. So I purchased this one, but I also added a few more books. So like Guild, Gideon the Ninth, and From Luco with Love. These last 5 books I can't really motivate, mainly because there's no reason for me to have purchased these other than the fact that I'm very excited about them. And some of them might work for a vlog, and one I needed to purchase for a book club. And we have these 5 books for that. So these were all in the same order, and I'm very happy with them. I don't care. 3 sets of purchases, what will that add us up to? Are we certain this is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. After these updates, I'm currently at 120 books, which is, I think, the worst I've been at this year, actually. I mainly blame the fact that I have not been reading. My book purchases aren't actually that crazy. It's kind of my regular set of BookBox books. It's also the fact that I've been gifted books for my birthday. But we have one light in this, and that is the fact that I'm unhauling one book. The book that I am unhauling is This Woven Kingdom, the Illumicrator edition of it. And that's because I've had this in multiple TBRs now, and I have never really felt that excited about picking this one up. So I kind of started to figure that it's better for me to try and sell it so that someone else who's more excited about this, who will love it more, will actually have it. That actually brings us down to 119 books. 190 books on my physical TBR. If I counted correctly, I think I have. That's the issue. Honestly, I'm not that upset about the books I've acquired. I'm very excited about them. I'm also excited that I now sort of need to rearrange my bookshelves. So I'm going to do that hopefully very soon, and I will try and film it as well and share my entire physical TBR as well. So please look forward to that. But yeah, I'm very happy with the books I have acquired. No doubt about it. One thing I've started to consider though, and once again, it's mainly because my work has been looking a bit different this last couple of months, is how much I should be reading physical books and how much I should try and read on my Kobo, my e-reader. If you don't know, I work as a consultant, so I go on like different assignments to various customers, and when I go to customers, I tend to bring a lot of things in my backpack, basically. I have my computer, I have headphones, I have a lunchbox, I have a thermos with my coffee, like all of that. It's starting to get quite heavy, especially when I do that every day. It was fine when I brought all of those things with me once a week or something, when I went to our main office. But now, since I go back and forth to the customers every single day with those things, it's starting to get a bit heavy. So I actually this week or last week started to bring my Kobo with me instead and read a book off of that. I'm like falling in love with my e-reader all over again because it's so convenient. I can fit it in the pocket of my jacket. I can bring it out for just like a couple of minutes while I'm on the subway. Like it's so perfect. I don't know. When I've been bringing my book with me these last couple of months, I have not been reading, even though I have it with me in my backpack. But I'm noticing that with my Kobo, I'm actually reading. Even if it's just like a couple of pages, I'm still reading while I'm commuting to work. So there might be a conflict of interest where I still love to purchase physical books and I still want to read physical books, but also for convenience and for the health of my back, it might be better for me to try and read more ebooks. The issue is, the thing that bugs me a bit is that ebooks are sometimes just as expensive or cheap, depending on how you see it, as your typical physical printed book. And that's the conflict for me, because why should I pay 100 Swedish crowns, about $10 or euros, for a book if I can own it physically? This is something I need to consider more. I believe on a day-to-day basis, it's actually better for me to just read from my Kobo. The light is better. Like, there's so many benefits with that compared to bringing a chunky paperback with me everywhere I go. How many books have I then read this year? In total this year, I've read 28 books of my physical TBR. 28 books out of 50, and we're in the middle of October. Once again, it's not impossible for me to read more and actually complete this challenge before the end of December, but I'm highly doubting it. I need to read 22 books before the end of December. Could do it if I really step it up. I don't think it's gonna happen. If I were to guess what number I will add up on, I could potentially add like 10 books. So let's say 38 or 40 books. That seems a bit more realistic. I do believe that I read about 36 or 38 books of my physical TBR last year. So it makes sense for the number to be fairly similar, actually. It does make sense. I'm still loving this challenge. I'm still loving tracking my TBR. And I love all of the books I've added to my physical TBR, so I don't mind. That's it for this update. So what did we end up on? We ended up on 119 books. I think it would be so cool if I could actually start the next year with the exact same amount of books that I had the year before. If it would be possible for me to get down to 100 books. It would be incredible. Once again, highly doubting that. That means I need to read about 20 books at least, assuming I won't add any books in the next few months, which I know isn't true because I will still be getting my book boxes. I might get things for Christmas, like we're gonna have to see. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please take care and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!
You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came